Attack on Titan Season 4 Episode 18, titled Sneak Attack. In the last episode of Attack on Titan, the full-scale war on Paradis by Marley begun, as we saw Reiner and Galliard taking on Eren. Both sides in the conflict had severe casualties and losses, and despite Eren holding 3 Titans being the Founder, Attack and Warhammer Titan, things are looking very bad for him after being sniped by Magath while being double teamed by Reiner and Galliard. We also saw the main Survey Corps members making the decision to potentially aid Eren due to the circumstances of them really not having much of a choice, and Eren's out of character actions that led them to believe everything might just be a ploy for him to activate the rumbling, instead of using the power of the founding Titan to euthanize all Eldians, thus fulfilling Zeke and Yelena's plan. And while all this was going on, we were made aware of Zeke's rebirth and the fact he's heading to the battlefield. So there was a lot going on in the last episode that we have to look out for. So today I'm going to be breaking down and analysing this latest episode of Attack on Titan while clearing up some things you might have missed or were unsure about. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out some of my other Attack on Titan content. I appreciate all the recent support and just wanted to say thank you for 7,500 subscribers. We only hit 7,000 like a few weeks ago and we are getting ever so closer to the big 10,000, so I'm insanely grateful. However, let's get right into the episode. With the beginning of episode 18, we see Armin and the others making their way from underground to finally join the battle. Again, this is on the basis of them believing that Eren is fighting to save all of them and has his reasons for his harsh actions in the final season so far, from allying with Zeke and Yelena and even pushing his friends away. But whether Eren is hiding his true intentions or is truly sided with Zeke, that's what they intend to find out. And we also had a quick flashback to when the three were at the sea for the first time, which was definitely a huge turning point for the series, and where Eren started to have a different air about him after he learned of his enemies on the other side of the sea. So taking all of this into account, Armin and Mikasa are very hopeful that Eren is still on their side. Shortly after this, we return above ground to Eren versus Reiner and Galliard, and I must say that there was some stuff I liked about this exchange between the three, and there were some parts I didn't necessarily like in comparison to the manga. I feel like the punch against Galliard was not as great as it was in the manga, but then again, the manga is stills, so it wasn't like as impactful, but he got sent flying, and with the CGI it looked a bit clunky at times, but it was still good. But my favorite part was definitely when Eren was taking off like Reiner's head, where he was trying to. He probably would have succeeded if we didn't get that interruption, which I'll talk about in a second. But I feel like that was done really well. His whole scream, the voice acting was on point for that. And even before he did that scream where we could see him in his human form inside of his Titan, he was screaming down the whole scene. You could just see everyone holding their ears, especially Gabi. It was just like a nice way to add more impact and suspense to the scene. So I feel like that was done really well. And then just when we think that Eren's about to take out Reiner or get taken out himself, because it's really hard to tell what's going to happen here, whether he was going to be countered after this, because Eren was using all of his strength to hold back Reiner and Galliard, and he dispelled a lot of power using the Warhammer Titan previously. We see Zeke return. So of course Zeke was going to arrive at the battlefield at some point, given the events of the last episode where he saw him saying he was literally going to come to the battlefield. However, he arrived at the perfect time to save his little brother Eren, in typical Beast Titan fashion with the throwing of rocks. And that was definitely one of my highlights of the episode, the seeing Zeke save Eren. Is something that I've been waiting to see for a long time, and I think they did that really well. Also, seeing the Beast Titan in 2D for the first time, I believe, first time of this part for sure, but I can't remember if this is the first time we get to see Zeke's Beast Titan form in 2D by Mappa. It did look very good and I really liked the design actually. However, with Zeke's arrival, there was definitely an immediate shift in power balance, and a sense of urgency fell upon the Marleyan forces, since now the founding Titan and the Titan of royal blood are in the same vicinity. And once they saw Eren walking towards Zeke, it just confirmed their suspicions that they were trying to get into contact. Also, this whole war on Paradis really made it evident for me how annoying it is to fight the Beast Titan. Not even taking into account all of Zeke's abilities, his simple ability to throw long range projectiles just defeated the purpose of the aircrafts and held everyone at bay. So he definitely lives up to his title of being the Wonder Child. Following the change in the situation, we see all of the locked up Paradis forces being freed to join the battle. And we get this scene of Mikasa with Louise. If you remember Louise, she was part of the people Mikasa saved during the attack in the Trust district, who ended up joining the Yeagerists in an attempt to be like Mikasa, who is essentially her role model. But the reason I'm mentioning this scene is due to the fact Mikasa left her beloved scarf behind that Eren gave her, which you can interpret how you want, but I think it shows the uneasiness she has about the whole situation and the fact she's not blindly believing in Eren anymore. She has to get the answers for herself, or you can even see it as her trying to fight against her instincts as an Ackerman to protect Eren, even though it could have potentially been a lie on Eren's end as said by Armin. After this, we see Mikasa, Armin, Jan and Connie joining up with Yelena, who is absolutely ecstatic at the damage Marley is taking due to Zeke. And we also get these really amazing shots of Yelena before the falling aircrafts and her asking Armin to help Eren and Zeke, which looked really good. But before this, Yelena breaks the news of Levi's defeat to the crew since Zeke arrived at the battlefield, which obviously left the crew shocked and outraged at the fact that Hange and Levi could be dead. Although we as the audience obviously know Hange is alive and Levi is still a mystery. As the battle ensues, we see Falco being reunited with Colt and Gabi, and honestly this was one of my favourite sections of the whole episode. Just seeing the growth Gabi has had as a character and her admitting to her mistakes was great to see. There's been small instances throughout the final season where Gabi has definitely made the wrong call, mainly being in relation to her blind hate towards Eldians on Paradis. Even though this ideology was instilled her whole life, Falco was trying to get her to see this fact and she's only just come to terms with it herself after experiencing it firsthand. When she heard Sasha's parents worrying for her and Falco even in the current situation and Kaya's disgust and hatred for her, it just really put everything into perspective about how wrong she was and why Reiner was so conflicted after returning to Marley. But as I was saying, this scene, including Falco's love confession, was just really well done. And with the ending portion of the episode, we see Zeke laying waste to Galliard with his rocks, only to get similar treatment as Peek and Magath hit him with a sneak attack with the anti-Titan rifles, which was a great cliffhanger for the episode as Zeke's Beast Titan hits the floor. What will happen as Eren makes his way to his body? Will Zeke scream? Who knows? And before I wrap things up, I also wanted to just bring a bit more attention to this line from Reiner, just having much more significance now due to us having context. If you remember back in season 2 of Attack on Titan, the last episode to be exact, when Eren used the power of the founding Titan to kill Dinah Fritz and hold back Reiner, upon learning that Eren had the coordinate founding Titan, whatever you want to call it, Reiner was stressed out of his mind and he said the exact same words pretty much, being the last person in the world who should have this power is you, Eren. Which makes a lot of sense taking into account the type of person Eren is and what he's currently doing. But with that being said, we've come to the end of the episode. This episode was pretty good. There was a lot of action taking place just like last week. However, I'll say that there was a lot of moments that really made me enjoy this episode. From the Eren scream, Zeke's arrival, Yelena, Gabi's realization, there was a lot of moments I appreciated. But to rate this episode out of 10, I'll give it an 8.5. And again, I'm sorry that these videos end up being a bit shorter than usual, but when there's loads of actions, I don't feel the need to prolong it any more than necessary, especially if what's happening is self-explanatory. But I do try to give my personal opinions and thoughts on how I felt about the scenes. With that being said, remember to let me know what your thoughts were about everything that happened today in the comment section, and also if I missed out any parts you wanted to be talked about, and I'll do my best to respond and explain. And last but not least, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Attack on Titan upload. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.